Alright, let's continue on scanning. Past 60. Sorry, just wanted the name. Serious. Well, there's also a lot of serious stars. They're really serious. And Earth Daughter, hello. The seething radiation of the Bozave sun keeps portions of past 60 molten at all times. Attempting to land here would be extremely inadvisable. And this is what I mean, like this planet looks like one I scanned before, like it has those glowy bits, like there's some tectonic activity going on, and then the rest just looks like a flat, yeah, stone, kind of. So let's go past 51. Like most of them are just called H or H for Helios and Pass. Why are they called Pass? Many of the conditions on Pass 51 are amenable to the development of life, microbial at least, but its searing temperatures are an obstacle not easily overcome. But life will always find a way. Not a good mood at all. That just jumped over me. Right? So you're on PC. Well, and how could that be? I don't know which icon could give you that impression. Alright, water vapor escapes from cracks in this mountain, suggesting that somewhere deep underground where temperatures are far cooler a reservoir may exist. If life forms exist on Pass 51, it will be there. I think this was more like a joke. And what if I use mouse and keyboard on Xbox? Auroral flashes are visible at most times of the day. From the cobalt surface of Ishang, the electromagnetic effects may interfere with communications. I want to talk it. Give me a good mood. Well, I have an Xbox. Hey. Thai front weather is uncommonly tranquil for a gas giant. Its clouds and electric storms move in slow, predictable patterns. Slow predictable patterns worthy of further study. I don't know if all games just get the mouse and keyboard input if you play them on the export box, but yeah, it is, I think, possible to at least connect them. But I don't think that every game is able to use them properly. Do everything on Xbox. And you...
Zubi, keep an eye on those sensors.
I always do.
I know, it's just... This is a dicey sector. Better to be ready.
Anomaly on sensors.
So, what do we have here?
Probes launched. Detecting
hey, another shuttle. Hey, if you want to play some online matches in Andromeda, I'm available tomorrow. Well, yeah, you two could play, probably. If you got consoles, that's definitely working out. So, this shuttle appears to have limped away from a battle. Logs indicate the crew, now deceased, came to VAR to raid an outcast mining camp. The attempt must have ended badly. On my phone and the mix of YouTube. Nice. Mixer and YouTube. Whoa. H171 is sheltered from the heat of vast sun by large dust clouds in the inner solar system. The result is a glittering orb of frozen ammonia and tin. It's also one of the smaller planets. Like, look at this. Like a marble. How do you do this? Mixer with YouTube. Well, it either was just some mix-up. 50 what? I want to play some online. Yay.
I'm picking
50
up something.
subscribers. That's actually a lot. An outcast mineral mining camp has been recently demolished here. A fragmentary distress call describes the attackers as other exiles. There are no survivors, sadly. Alright,
Probe away.
I missed it. It's like a little more to the left. There we go.
Deploying probe. Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
So, this graphite mineral deposit should prove useful to the initiative for manufacturing. The planet itself, an outcast mineral mining camp, has been recently demolished. Yeah, get that one. So, let's go to the one on the fringes. Great oceans of ethane and thin sheets of water ice cover the surface of H173. Ice mining might be possible here, but there are surely richer sources on more agreeable worlds. And Margaret. Sagittarius A. Hey, another name. I'm having a hard time over here. What? It felt like no one don't like me. No. Well, there are definitely times where you may feel this way, but it just happens. Depending on your age, it could also be some kind of hormonal thing. So, yeah, Margot's extraordinarily dangerous surface is of less interest than its ring system. Its inner ring is primarily dust and rock. The outer ring is composed of large chunks of water. Okay, that's enough now with names. I mean, what about Sagittarius B and C and D and E and let's not call it F, but G? Match is 35. Oh. Ha. Well, that's a little bit old for that kind of depression. But yeah, maybe do things that you actually like doing. This is at least one thing. This shuttle appears to have limped away from a battle. Logs indicate the crew now that deceased came to VAR to raid an outcast mining camp. The attempt must have ended badly. Didn't I just... Yeah, I think... Yeah, I missed it. I missed it. But people... put me that way. That's always the thing. Like, you can always say that other people are at fault, but there are always two parts of the story. One of them is yours, and the other's part is, of course, the other people. One thing that you cannot do is change other people, but you could at least try to think about that in a different manner. Why do you think that? That no one likes you. Ooh, that's a deep question. When I get someone see they run away because of my lupus. Like lupus like dog or lupus like illness? And no, it's never lupus. Like, lupus is actually like an illness that that is like always suggested when there's a patient in the TV series Dr. House. Like, there are always patients with lupus. It's lupus. It's always the case. Frozen ethane covers H174. The ice sheets interrupted only by low mountains and shallow craters. Thanks to dust clouds in the inner system, little sunlight reaches this world. Damn it. There we go.
Deploying probe. Getting a scan.
The deceased outcast inhabitant of this escape pod appears to have fled a battle of Mei Shisa in the inner system. And they did not really manage to get away, did they? So, and because I was looking at some wiki entries, why not just look at what is lupus? So, lupus. uh-huh.
Rumor has it this is quite the lawless region. No place to get stranded.
Stranded? Why would you even bring that up?
So wait a second. This is the part of disease or go away. Okay, if he's not going away, I would have I have lupus, so headed for life. Would not go away. Not the doctor. Treated as cancer. Whoa, that's hard. Mana over my skin. Mana over my skin. Yeah, what do we got? And lupus. English version. Okay, reddening of the skin. What else does it do? The cause of SLE, systematic lupus erythematosus, also known simply as lupus, is an autoimmune disease. That's a shitty one. In which the body's immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissue in many parts of the body. Symptoms vary between people and may be mild to severe. Common symptoms include painful and swollen joints, fever, chest pain, hair loss, mouth ulcers, swollen lymph nodes, feeling tired, and a red rash, which is most commonly in the face. Often there are periods of illness called flares and periods of remission during which there are few symptoms. Interesting. So it kind of pulsates. Like, there are times of heavy symptoms and sometimes it just goes down a little bit, but it's iffy. The scourge has caused massive electromagnetic disturbances in Kisrata's atmosphere. Avoiding any closer proximity to the planet is strongly advised. Oh, okay. Cousin has, but she died of it. Whoa, Jesus! This is not the news that you want to hear. If you, come on. Oh, dude. Oh, that's not helpful. Jesus. Oh no, wait, I was mistaken the name for a moment. Okay. Like, yeah, Sovereign mentioned that there's one of his friends having that. Oh, yeah. Feed my animals. Yeah, do that. Like, petting animals also helps, yeah, kind of relaxing, right? Oh, look at this sun. This looks amazing. In Sauron's nitrogen and carbon monoxide atmosphere is generally being stripped away by Ratul's sun, leaving the barren surface utterly unprotected from the sun's radiation. And then we got High Barrow. Okay, now I want to know, like, if this is an autoimmune disease, it might not really be something that infects people, but more like a genetic thing, is it? Yeah, it is thought to involve
thinking of
genetics
something.
together with environmental factors that trigger this probably. Among identical twins, if one is affected, there is a 24% chance the other one will be as well. Female sex hormones, sunlight, smoking, vitamin D deficiency, and certain infections are also believed to increase the risk. Being female, that's nice. But yeah, there are different illnesses for everybody. Believed to increase the risk. The mechanism involves an immune response by auto-antibodies against a person's own tissues. These are most commonly anti-nuclear antibodies, and they result in inflammation. Whew. That's hard. Okay, so how do you solve that? Like muscles and bones? Yeah, we know that it's inflammation. Like that's genetics. Runs in family. Well, that would explain the cousin. Pathophysiology. Where's the way? Diagnosis. We don't need to diagnose it. Treatment. There we go. Probably just a symptomatic one. Involves preventing flares and modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. Okay, so it's more synthetic. Kidney transplantation. Also just a symptom. Like if the body attacks its own tissue, then of course it attacks organs, so you have to get additional organs. But yeah, end-stage kidney disease, which is one of the complications of lupus nephritis, but the recurrence of the full disease is common in up to 30% of people. Whoa. Antiphospholipid syndrome, management of pregnancy, prognosis, epidemiology, approximately between 45 and 64 years of age. Well, that's a little bit early with 35. Lowest overall rates exist in Iceland and Japan, which is strange. Oh no, wait a second. Lowest rates in Iceland and Japan. The highest rates in US and France. Why those two all of a sudden? Interesting. Oh, something about UV rays. For example, different countries receive different levels of sunlight, and exposure to UV rays affects dermatological symptoms of SLE. Certain studies hypothesize that a genetic connection exists between race and lupus, which affects disease prevalence. If this is, well, not race, I think. If this is true, the racial composition of countries affects disease and will cause the incidence in a country to change as the racial makeup changes. Well, the thing is, it can't really be different races because, like, France and the US is actually a really mixed environment. But like, what's the other one? Like Iceland and Japan is so secluded, and just no. Like race would not really make a good reason for it. Like the opposite, actually. Which is not what you want to hear. So, changing rate of disease, history, some research. Is there really no way of treating this thing? Lifestyle changes. There we go. Avoiding sunlight. Okay, that's done. Just an SLE is critical since sunlight is known to exacerbate our skin manifestations of the disease, so like the rashes and stuff. Avoiding activities which include fatigue is also important. Okay. Interesting. So no sports, since those with SLE fatigue easily and it can be debilitating. These two problems can lead to people becoming housebound for long periods of time. Drugs unrelated to SLE should be prescribed only when known not to exacerbate the disease. Occupational exposure to silica, pesticides, and mercury can also worsen the disease. Well, exposure to this stuff worsens not only that disease, but everything. We're just like, yeah, nice. You don't want to get exposed to mercury, any pesticides, or okay, silica is the only thing that might be okay-ish. Yeah, most of it is just symptomatic, which is not really helping. Think of race. It means how can I say it without being racist? You can't be racist. Well, you cannot not be racist. That's what I mean. No matter what you say, like it will be probably taken the wrong way. Wait a second, white people. No. Actually the opposite, because France has like a huge part like mixed residents. And the US as well. And in this case, the Japanese, they are actually really like, okay, let's not generalize, but there's a tendency. So Afros, this is just a guess, right? Just a guess. But there might be more than this, right? Because people actually came to the Americas from different countries all over the world, right? One of them was France, and yeah, like this could also explain it. Like people came from France, therefore people in America are also affected by that, right? So maybe there's something else at play there. Who knows? Maybe there's just something about the French people. Maybe you just need to drink more wine in order to solve that. But yeah, let's say that black people would be affected by this, then, or would be the reason for it, whatever, then one of the countries with higher occurrences of lupus would also be like, yeah, Africa. Like, okay, Africa is not one country, it's a continent with multiple countries. But yeah, there would definitely be another country like that. Or maybe even like in the Middle East or stuff like that. Like, or maybe even South America in general. But yeah, that is definitely not the whole thing. It sounds so racist and stuff like that. Yeah. It's definitely strange. Anyway, Hibaro has adapted bizarrely to the Scourge. For about a third of its orbital period, the Scourge's effects permit plant life to flourish at all other times. Hibaro boils in the Ratul sun. The other thing might be like if like getting, yeah, if like pesticides are also one reason for that that worsens it, right? It could also be that there's just a lot of pollution everywhere, right? And this pollution kind of forces, like, gets inside the body, and this is the reason why the body has to kind of fight itself, because it just wants to cleanse itself from those pollution that just came from outside, like pesticides and whatnot. That might be a reason. Anyway, let's scan that.
Probes launched. Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
So, iron deposit. This large iron deposit, yeah, can be rapidly mined. But only 54 for a whole planet. That's not much. So, Milky Way survey suggested 2 gas giants were present in Ratul. Could the Scourge have collapsed them into a single world in less than 6 centuries? Or is something else at work? Well, what about gravity? Into a single world. Okay, wait a second. So this thing is supposed to be one planet? Okay. Well, can happen. But the planet should be much hotter. Or at least you should see some glow of it, and not just gases.
Anomaly in
So
sensors.
the Scourge and some unusual orbital mechanics leave Govok's folly eyes bound at night and boiling during the day. The outcast Govok attempted to take advantage of this to little avail. I mean, it's another satellite.
Probe away. Anomaly found.
Another satellite. This cat dropship appears to have been departing Govok's folly when it was hit by a weapon's fire. Perhaps Govok is still alive and active after all. Nice. And Revere. Second to last system.
Not many other ships would venture out this far.
It's our job to be first.
Okay,
Anomaly
what do we
on
got here?
sensors. Deploy probe.
Can't you just scan that thing? Okay, yeah, I actually deposited so many probes I didn't even know where I get those things. So, a remnant fighter seemingly impaled on a tendril of Scourge. Astonishingly certain self-repair mechanisms appear to be intact, though the vessel will never be whole again. So, much of H162's unusual coloration comes from what appears to be a sort of algae. The organism pervades the dense, moist atmosphere, floating on the wind. Oh, that's actually a nice thing. Like, there are also... Was it bacteria or algae? Like, I think there was some bacteria,
Anomaly detected.
which, if disturbed or something, just turn red. Like, there's just normal water, and then it suddenly turns red after rain or stuff like that, and that's just amazing. What was it? The Momiris appears to have been stripped of a breathable atmosphere by Scourge phenomena over the past century. What remains is a barren sphere of boron and carbon.
Probe away.
Ying.
Huge
Yay!
mineral deposit.
A valuable light metal, this deposit is close to the surface and relatively easy to mine. You even get less and less minerals now. It's 53. Didn't mean to do this. Probably another chat. Massive sandstorms thrash HO80 surface day in and day out, burying once mighty mountain range down to smooth nubs over millennia. So, on a, what's this, cursory visual inspection, this massive planet appears almost Earth-like, but its incredibly heavy gravity and crushing atmosphere make colonization a long shot. Well, you could use some element 0 in order to change that system. That would do the trick, wouldn't it? I just pushed the button on my phone too fast. No! Burries is inhabited by simple herds of methane breathers struggling to find shelter against the cold. It may be scourge effects that have pushed these creatures to near extinction. They breathe methane! Now that is a good one. Finally, we got life forms that, yeah, breathe some gas that is not just oxygen. So, and the other one was fire. Let's go to that one. Nice. And continue with the side missions. Like, they're not really side missions. It's just, like, they're side mission-like, but they're more get to know your crew quests. Just happened so suddenly. No. Who could have known that the send button actually sends messages? Ah. There should be another message, which is, are you sure you want to send this? Are you really, really sure? Like some kind of automated system that, of course, reads your text and completely kills privacy, but gets rid of, like, false sends or drunk dialing or drunk messaging.